The Nerdcast Empire is on the air. We are back with another episode of Anime Thursdays here on the Nerdcast Empire. I am Matt in the studio. Great to have you along with us once again. This week, on top of our regular news and notes, we're going to be taking a look at the best anime opening themes of 2001 as judged by Mike, and we'll discuss them. But a year that was absolutely loaded as far as anime opening themes. So really excited to kind of get a chance to talk about what those opening themes are going to look like. And joining us in studio, as always, is Mike. Mike, how's it going?
It is going. I started my YouTube anime opening list career with 2001, just thinking that was a pretty stacked year and kind of an important year for a lot of shows that I got into early on. And, but you had to start somewhere. Why not there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe joining us on Discord, if I have got the routing on this audio correctly, I believe Chris is joining us from Parts Unknown. Chris, how's it going? Well,
or is he?
He's coming through the Discord. He's just not coming through our channels, which is interesting. So we'll get that fixed somehow, but not sure how we'll figure that out. But we'll get his audio straightened out. I know the people on Discord can hear him, but we can't hear him. So we'll have to figure out how that needs to be routed. So I will work on that while we talk about this first news item that we're going to talk about. And we will get to the opening themes in just a moment. We'll do that after the break. If you're watching on YouTube, on the VOD, if you're listening on the podcast version of this, we will not have Mike's openings from 2001. So you're going to need to watch the Twitch VOD or join us live to get all of those. So,
watch my video.
Or watch the video, which we will link in the chat. Once we get to that in section number 2, we'll also link it in the VOD on YouTube. So you'll be able to just click right over and watch Mike's video. So, but we'll talk about the first news story, and that'll give me a chance to do a little troubleshooting on this while we do that. The first news story, I know I kind of wanted to pick this one out because I know this is one show that certainly you have been a big fan of. News coming out from Anime News Network a couple days ago that Shueisha's website is listing the 38th compiled book volume of Yoshihiro Togashi's Hunter x Hunter manga for release on September the 4th. In addition, sounds like Togashi has also been teasing some additional chapters beyond what would be volume 38. That would go past chapter 400, which was the most recently released chapters of the series. Obviously, I think it's pretty well known for those who are anime fans that Togashi's been dealing with a lot of health-related issues, and is certainly it's been a challenge to kind of get more manga produced, so hopefully get more anime produced. But maybe some encouraging signs that we're going to get another volume of that.
Yeah, definitely. It was cool to hear a while back that they basically more or less said, we know this isn't going to be a weekly thing anymore, but however, whatever frequency you can get this stuff out, that's great. It really calls into question just kind of the lifestyle and just the grueling work that is being a manga artist. And I think he's in a position where he can kind of dictate, okay, here's when you're going to get the next work from me. I assume that not everyone is that fortunate. And obviously we've seen several creators pass away untimely over the last couple years, which is terrible. But I'm definitely looking forward to this, and however quickly or slowly he can get it issued, I'm all for it.
I don't know. Let's try Chris again. Chris, are you there? Can you hear me first off? And are you there?
Yep, I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, okay. Your audio is kind of chunky at the moment, but at least I'm hearing it now. So we have taken a step in the right direction.
Baby steps.
So we will continue to work on getting this figured out, but we'll see if we maybe can fix it with that. Chris, any thoughts? I don't know if you had a chance to hear the story that sounds like getting some more Hunter x Hunter manga. It's been kind of a drawn out process, but maybe we're going to continue to get the continuation of Hunter x Hunter versus maybe in manga form and then maybe an anime form later on.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is actually one of those that once I watched the newer series, I still need to go back and watch the series from the 90s, but I really wanted to dig in more because there was such a vast amount of writing that was available after what really both animes covered.
Okay, hang
So
on a second, Chris. Your audio's still a little weird. Let's.
I don't know what it's doing, but that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like it's slow. It's like delaying his audio, and then he's speaking as fast as possible, like he's in fast forward. So let's try something here. I'm gonna hang up this.
I'll reconnect as well.
Okay, so we'll let him do that, and then I'm going to switch over to our web browser mode, and hopefully that will help that out. But some technical difficulties, which we'll try to get that figured out momentarily, and we'll see if I can pop back in. I don't need your ads, Discord. So the question is, where will Chris's audio come from? So
good question.
That is the question, and I was muted. Let's see, I'm unmuted now. Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How am I?
Wow.
Okay, you sound great now. Now I have to do one more thing because now I need to unmute that other channel because now you're not coming through the Discord channel I created. So, yeah. So we'll have to experiment with that off the air to try to get that figured out as to why your audio was very strange through the Discord app. But at the very least, we seem to be straightened out now. So. But yeah, that's just something to keep in mind as far as news. We'll certainly keep an eye on what's going on with Hunter x Hunter, and hopefully, again, be able to get some more manga. And hopefully, health-wise, he's doing a little bit better, which would certainly be good news. A couple other smaller news stories, some older series that are getting either new series or some sort of anniversary project. The first one is funny because you just mentioned this one last week. It's Hell Teacher Nube, Jigoku Sensei Nube. Just a couple days after Mike brought it up on the podcast, Shueisha actually announced that they are going to be doing a new anime project in 2025. In fact, they also have a teaser for that anime project. Kind of cool to see. That's an older show that I think is kind of hard to find now. It's one of those things that the original TV adaptation was from the late 90s. Now, possibly, we're going to be getting a new series of this, and I hope that the theme songs for that can live up to the original. But kind of interesting news that just after you mentioned it, we're going to get some more Hell Teacher Nube.
Yeah, it's funny. It's a show that I wasn't ever really familiar with. Like, it obviously never had any traction over here, but a while back, I started listening to on Spotify. They have some playlists of anime songs, and one is specifically from 90s shows. And that was when I first heard this song, which turned out to be a song by Bees, which is the ending theme to the show. The song's awesome, and the ending's awesome, and that really made me want to seek this show out, which apparently is not available on any of the traditional streaming services around here. So hopefully this new adaptation is going to come out and be big, and maybe we'll get the older one coming around as well too.
Well, and according to Anime News Network, it doesn't appear the old one even had an English dub. There was a Spanish dub, a Tagalog dub, like maybe subtitled in Chinese, but not even dubbed and brought over here. So maybe there's an opportunity. And I know Discotheque is in the process of teasing new shows or old shows.
Teasing with hints that make no sense to me that I couldn't possibly speculate what they're talking about.
No, not at all. And it'll be interesting to see if after the fact we're able to actually make heads or tails of some of those clues. But the other show that I think maybe more people will be familiar with is Zoids. The official X account of Zoids teased a new 25th anniversary project for the Zoids Chaotic Century anime. Also revealed a new visual and a new promotional video. It's going to start in August, whatever this project is. The first anime appeared in 1999, but it's actually the 40th anniversary of the franchise. It launched as model kits in the West in 1982 and then in Japan in 1983. So kind of crazy that it's been going for this long. And they're going to be celebrating the anniversary of the anime and of the franchise itself with some new programming. Chris, I don't know if Zoids was a show you were familiar with, but was that something that you watched maybe early in your anime career? Was that one maybe? Because I wasn't familiar with it, other than
I know
just
it did air over here. One of the series did.
I don't know. Is that something that you ever checked out, Chris?
I can't remember if I actually saw the series. It's kind of like a fever dream thinking about it, but I know at the very least I did have some Zoids like figurines. I don't know that I really knew what they were from, but I recall having some of the main kind of Zoids from that. So maybe I did watch it and I just don't remember, but it's definitely in there in my childhood memories.
Yeah, I do remember being on, and I certainly remember people talking about it. I feel like it was a for kids Saturday morning type,
one of those kind of things, yeah, or early weekday mornings. Yeah, one of those two.
That's true. They did show quite a lot of westernized anime early in the mornings, but in one form or another, it's kind of continued on, and now it's going to get a 25th anniversary project. So certainly for those who are fans of Zoids,
what took them so long to come out with an anime for that?
That's a great question.
If the model kits were hitting in the early 80s, I feel like they missed the part where you come out with the cartoon so people want to buy the model kits.
I don't know if it's one of those things they just had to wait until anime became popular in the West. Like they had to wait till the late 90s. Like now's the time when people are going to want to spend money on this. But the model kits coming out in the early 80s was kind of a surprise. Because it makes you wonder, because I know Chris had mentioned Kinnikuman and the fact that, we saw those
like muscle men toys,
right? Well, is it one of those things that they were model kits and nobody really even knew what they were when they came out over here? It's like, where of course it's made in Japan, nobody really cares. It's not about a show, and now you find out all these years later, it ends up as an anime, and now it's going to get more anime. So
it almost seemed kind of backwards, where they use the toys to see if it was even worth making a show, as opposed to just making a show and gauging interest for merchandise like toys.
Yeah. And maybe they didn't sell well initially, and they were just like, I'm not really sure this is it. So, so we're going to continue to get some Zoids and some new Zoids coming down the pike in August. So we'll certainly keep an eye on that. One other news story I wanted to mention today, and this is kind of like a double barrel news story here, because if you are an anime fan, one thing you kind of have to expect every 2 years now, it used to be every 4 years, is that your favorite show, as it comes over to the West, you may see some delays in those shows. And the reason why, of course, is the Olympics are actually underway. They started yesterday with some soccer and some rugby, had some handball going on today. I think the opening ceremonies are Friday in Paris. But because of that, you typically have shows that air on networks in Japan that are showing the Olympics that will be delayed by a week or two. So you kind of want to keep, if you have the show you're watching currently, check local listings, because you may end up with a show that gets a 1 or 2 week delay because of the Olympics. These are the games of the 33rd Olympiad, which is just kind of crazy, honestly. But in the spirit of the Olympic Games, Crunchyroll has announced that they're going to be allowing people to watch a lot of their sports anime for free with ads on their service during the Olympics. Those include Backflip, Birdie Wing, Blue Lock, Free, Haikyuu, Hanebado, Harukana Receive, How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift, Sport Climbing Girls, Kuroko's Basketball, Number 24, Ping Pong the Animation, Remain, Run with the Wind, Skate the Infinity, The Prince of Tennis, Sarune, Wave, Let's Go Surfing, and Yowamushi Pedal. Now's the time. If you've ever wanted to get into Yowamushi Pedal, you can watch that, and certainly at least watch it for the music. It's certainly a show that has great music. But Mike, obviously we're going to be watching a lot of the Olympics over the next couple of weeks, because obviously the tennis and all the other events that you kind of just keep.
And the archery. And the fencing. That's
true. I love fencing. But kind of cool that this is a kind of a very natural tie-in to be able to get a little positive publicity for your service, which has been a little bit lacking lately for Crunchyroll.
I can't wait. I'm going to start watching Birdie Wing. I'm going to get on Crunchyroll and comment all about it and tell people how much I guess I won't be doing that. But no, I know it's ad supported, the free shows that they're giving you, which is fine, but it could be a good opportunity to check out Birdie Wing or Hanebado. I've kind of always wanted to watch Ping Pong the Animation, so maybe I'll get into that. And Prince of Tennis is always a classic, so
you can't go wrong with Prince of Tennis. And of course, Crunchyroll has added a lot more than was originally out, so there's a lot of Prince of Tennis out. In fact, I think they did a new dub for it as well.
I think they were supposed to. I haven't watched it though.
I just keep forgetting to go back and check on it. But of those shows, Birdie Wing is one that has seemed to have gotten good critical acclaim. I think that's certainly one worth checking out. Hanebado, I watched the first episode of it. It's about badminton. It was pretty good, and I just never got back around to it. I feel like shows like How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift are going to be kind of silly fun. That's definitely one worth checking out. Kuroko's basketball is supposed to be really good. You did point out no slam dunk, which is kind of a bummer. Prince of Tennis, obviously. Yomushi Pedal, again, another one that's obviously been very popular. Has gone for many, many series. Haikyuu, obviously, as well. Chris, of that list, anything jump out at you as far as shows that people ought to check out?
I know you guys have always hyped up Prince of Tennis for me, so maybe it's finally time for me to break down and check that one out. I was kind of sad to not see Slam Dunk make the list, but I guess maybe, just due to the insane popularity with it being one of, if not the greatest sports anime of all time, they can't just put that one out there for free. But yeah, a lot to pick from, and I'm probably going to have to take advantage of this.
Yeah, and I think potentially, obviously, you just had the Slam Dunk movie. I don't know if it ever made its way to Crunchyroll yet.
I'm not sure.
But obviously, that could be part of it. If it has, maybe that's part of the reason why it's not included.
I wonder, too, how many of these shows are dubbed.
That could be, too.
Because I know Slam Dunk is not, so.
Maybe it's just English rights shows that they're doing this with. Again, the whole point of this appears to be taking advantage of casuals, sports fans. So, yeah, I guess if you're going after casuals, you're probably looking for shows that have an English adaptation to it. So, maybe worth checking out. Some of these shows are continuing on in the near future, so maybe a good way to get your foot in the door on some of these shows. And again, if you're watching a show right now during the summer season, as we both are, you're probably going to, or could possibly see some delays in those shows. So you might want to check online. Anime News Network, I know, has had an article about some shows that are getting a week or two delay because of the Olympics, and they'll be over about the second week of August. So you may see some slight delays.
You could take that week or so delay and catch up on some older show.
Or you can jump into one of these shows.
Yeah, I'm watching Outlaw Star right now. So
Outlaw Star, an all-time classic. And, it's funny, we talked Prince of Tennis, or Chris mentioned it. We're going to be checking out the opening theme to the first opening theme to the Prince of Tennis coming up in our second segment this week. So just some anime news to check out this week. Remember, if you're listening on the podcast version or on the YouTube VOD, first off, welcome, and we appreciate you checking us out wherever you check us out. Secondly, I hope you enjoyed me going through technical difficulties at the beginning of the podcast, because I'm just leaving that in. I'm not going to edit that out. It's just part of the live experience, folks. And the other thing, too, is, we'll link to Mike's video, but obviously we're not going to have it in the VOD because YouTube does not like that for whatever reason. So you can click on over and check out Mike's video, or you can come back to Twitch, check out the Twitch VOD, which will have Mike's video and our comments about it as well in that. So with that all being said, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll update you on our upcoming schedule. And then for those of you who are on Twitch or on the Twitch VOD, we're going to be getting into Mike's definitive list of the best opening themes of 2001. We'll do that on the other side of this time out here on the Nerdcast Empire. Back on the Nerdcast Empire, it is Anime Thursdays once again, and we are talking the best anime opening themes of 2001. Don't forget to check out our website, nerdcastempire.com. You can check out our store while you're there. You can listen to previous episodes of the Nerdcast Empire. We have reached episode 80 of the Nerdcast Empire, which is kind of crazy. We are closing in on 100. I think it's 80. Now I'm questioning myself for some reason as I created that graphic as to whether it should be 81 or 80. It is actually 81. So ignore the graphic. I forgot to change the number, I guess. This is episode 81 of the Nerdcast Empire. We appreciate everybody coming along throughout this wild ride we've been on here on the Nerdcast Empire. And we just kind of passed our 1 year anniversary technically. Oh, I see why. Because I just didn't update the graphic. That explains. I did create a graphic for the 81st episode. I just didn't update it. We did technically just pass the 1 year anniversary of when we started the Nerdcast Empire. But the 1 year anniversary really is going to be coming up in about a week or so when that first episode aired. And now you can see the updated information, episode 81. because we recorded 3 or 4 episodes in that first sitting, and then we kind of had them come out over several weeks. But we are kind of into year 2 of the Nerdcast Empire. We appreciate everybody for checking us out. We've got a lot of things planned.
We're just getting started.
We really are just getting started. It's kind of crazy to say that at episode 81, but we really are. There's a lot of things we want to do. Chris is doing a lot of work on the back end to our Discord, which eventually we're going to open up to the public to allow people to get into the Discord and kind of keep tabs on what we're doing and all that stuff through the Discord. We're going to continue, obviously, usually 2 episodes a week. Some weeks will be more, but we're just going to continue doing what we're doing and certainly want to keep hearing from people. Really excited to continue this project on, and we appreciate everybody's support, whether it's on Twitch, on YouTube, on the podcast network, in the chat, whatever it may be. We really do appreciate it. Let's talk about that upcoming schedule for those of you who are getting ready to head to the end of this episode, because you're not going to be staying for the video portion. But coming up on Sunday, we've got another episode of Music Weekly. We are looking at the music of July the 12th. Coming up this Sunday, had another good week last week. Looking forward to another great week this week. So make sure you tune in at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday night. Then we'll be back with another episode of music or of Anime Thursdays next Thursday. Anime Thursdays could bounce around a little bit. Check local listings. We'll keep you updated. Tennis season starting up, so that could impact some of our start times on Thursdays. But we'll try to keep you updated on when we may have to move those around. But we should be with you next Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, for another episode of Anime Thursdays. And then the following 2 days later, I guess, we'll be talking SummerSlam with a post-SummerSlam podcast on Saturday night. Really looking forward to SummerSlam. I think it's going to be a big one for WWE, so we'll have that coming up, and that'll be on August the 3rd, and probably about 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that. Again, if you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening on YouTube, you should see a link pop up right about now that will take you to Mike's video. So you can just click right on over there. When the video finishes, come back and you can finish the podcast. If you're on the podcast version, you're going to need to go to twitch.tv/Nerdcast Empire to get a chance to watch the next portion of this podcast. That is going to wrap things up for another episode of the Nerdcast Empire. We really appreciate everybody joining us once again. Big thanks to Chris joining us and from Parts Unknown. We really appreciate him coming in, and it's always good to kind of get his thoughts, especially on these, because Mike and I do share a lot of the same music taste. So it's nice to kind of have that outside perspective to get some thoughts on these. And really good year 2001. And every month or so, we'll go through one of Mike's videos and talk about a great year in anime music. So hopefully you'll keep checking that out. And again, if you are now picking things back up on the YouTube VOD or on the podcast VOD, wondering what are they talking about, make sure you go to twitch.tv/Nerdcast Empire, and you can check out Mike's video on his page. What's your page address again, real quick, Mike?
It is Crash NCE with an underscore there.
There you go. So you can check that out, and that'll allow you to just go watch the video on Mike's channel and give his channel some love, because he's got a lot of really good videos on there, as well as his playlists for each and every Music Weekly. And that's where we will be next, coming up on Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll be talking the music of July the 12th. If you want to get a sneak preview after you watch his anime video, jump on over, check out his playlist. If you can't do that, join us Sunday night, and we'll tell you who you should check out for that week of music. That's going to wrap things up. Big thanks to everybody for joining us once again. A big thanks to Stove Lake Media for their continued support of our podcast. And again, we'll be back Sunday night for another episode of Music Weekly. So for the entire crew, I'm Matt saying so long. Don't forget to join the Empire, the Nerdcast Empire.